Most bands follow a formula. Into, chord, repeat. It's catchy, it's safe, it's sellable. One band said, yeah, nah, I like that. The band is System of a Down. And somehow, except for disappearing, becoming Stranger 2, it became one of the most biggest rock bands, or metal, or new metal. The best new metal band. My opinion. I'm allowed to have opinions too. To understand System Down, you have to understand where they came from. They came from Los Angeles in the mid 90s. But the story starts way before that, with American heritage, cultural trauma, and generation of musicians who grew up feeling disconnected to both mainstream America and culture, their ancient history. That tension mattered because System of a Down wasn't just a band playing metal. It was colliding American roots, American style life, punk attitude, metal aggression, politics anger, and rehearses that became famous. They were explode, loud, messy, and emotional. The name System of a Down came from a poem written by Daron Malakian. Originally, it was Victims of the Down, but changed it because the band would be placed next to Slayer in a record store. That detail is really small, but it's actually perfect. From at the beginning, and I think difficultly, not how we fit in, how breaking the system seems. See, even even the name of is the statement. When people first hear System of a Down, they usually feel comfortable. They feel confused, actually. Not confused. I mess up sometimes. Because their music doesn't behave. Normal rock songs are built System of a Down, didn't. It came from soft melodies, to sudden screams, to riffs, to silence, to chaos, to grooves, to collapse. These five genres inside one track, songs like Chop Suey, Toxicity, and Sugar. They didn't follow a structure. They broke it on purpose. And instead of sounding messy in a bad way, it sounded controlled chaos. Like, they always on edge of losing it, but they never actually do. The tension is quite addicting to listening to it. The huge part is identity from contracts. Serj bringing almost Baron bringing Natty. Instead of blending one into one voice, they clash. And most of differences were different now. Citadel turned into power. It felt more like harmony. It felt less like harmony. And more like aggression, and turned into art. The lyrics were more war questions. System of a Down wasn't just strange musical. It was also deeply political, but not in a simple way. They didn't say this is bad. They asked, why is it all happening? Songs like BYOB hit hard because they didn't soften anything. Why do they always send the poor? That line immediately directs talking about war, government control, media manipulation, social hypeness. But the difference is, they didn't preach a different. They sounded angry, controlled emotions, like they were trying to understand the world while it's screaming. And it's when Toxicity and Screaming at it. When Toxicity dropped in 2002, 2001 actually, it didn't just exist, it disappeared. And you can somehow still find it on Walmart. That's rare. Trust me, I look everywhere for albums, and the only albums you can ever find are like, okay, it's hard to explain, But the only albums you'll ever get to find are like mainstream, like Cindy Sweetie, Taylor Swift. And no, I do not listen to her music. I just see it when I'm like looking at, like band stuff. When I look for like CDs at Walmart. When I was beginning looking for CDs, I looked at Walmart. Because I always thought they had like this massive they had like this like, kind of like big selection of vinyls and CDs. Yeah, I can only find like a few good ones. But Toxicity was one of them. But at the time, new metal and alternative were big, but System of a Down didn't sound like any else in that scene. Yet suddenly, Chop Suey was everywhere. Toxicity became an anthem. And Orless, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I'm horrible at pronouncing stuff. You can tell if you watch my other videos. This album went multi-platinum, but more importantly, it didn't disprove their identity. Most bands, when they get popular, System Down got weirder. Why they never got replaced? After Toxicity, Mezmerize, Hypnotize, something unusual happened. They stopped making albums completely. Not because it failed, not because they want to create election. It's because they just paused. That pause turned into years, but something interesting happened. No one replaced them. The band influenced extension and chaos and politics mediocre. The sound was combining. But they broke up for a few reasons. Actually, I think there's around 5 reasons. Creative differences was the main reason. There was a big issue. Daron wanted more control of the songwriting. Serj, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, wanted more variety and later was slurred on a solo mode title. They weren't arguing and we hate each other. It was a way of more we want a different version of the band. Also, they were burned out. From 1980 to 2005, they released five albums. Yeah, 5 albums. System of a Down in 1998, Toxicity 2001, Steelers album 2002, Memory and Hypnosis between 2005 and 2006. They were touring a lot. They were exhausted, and yeah, it was a different path after 2006. They all had their own thing working on. JJ with Elker solo album. Daron was working on the Scar on Broadway. Charvo, it was exploring Dingy and other projects. And John Dole also works producing on the side work in Slade Music, which is not just they never fully retired. They still do shows sometimes. They're on a tour right now. But simply, they didn't break up because of drama, because it slowed down, and they also had creative differences. If you wanted to know. Even though with the constant releases, though, System of a Down became a live event band. They were united and felt bigger and nostalgic. It felt something would still matter. Crowds still sung along, then exploded. When Toxicity became massive, because they never left. And you can still see them live. I think they're on tour right now with, I think, a few. I can't remember. I think they're on tour. Hold on. I can't remember. But yeah, they're on tour. Yep, they're on tour. They are right now doing a tour with a certain band. I can't remember. Currently in 2026, they're touring with the Queens of the Stone Age and Acid Bath. And they're right now doing like big venues and stuff. So, hey. But why does it still matter nowadays? Modern music is more polished than ever. Algorithm. Drake just released 3 albums. Screw Drake. I don't like Drake. Screw Drake. Sit Down was the opposite of that. They were unpredictable, strangely weird, emotional, political, and still music. And also, more importantly, they proved that something simple can become unforgettable. System of a Down didn't follow rock music. They bent, broke, and ended one. And somehow, you did decades later. And hey, tell me your favorite System of the Down. Tell me your favorite System of the Down song. Let that in the comments. Were you able to ever see them? Tell me. I would love to know. And we'll see you in the next one. I'm broke. I have no money. Or subscribe for that dog. Her name is Ruby. If you like, subscribe, comment. My name is Skullpunk. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Maybe not. You never know.